All right. It's Fashawn Borich here from Team Tough, also known as the Tough Mama. And yes, we had a little bit of delays today with getting this started. I had some internet connectivity issues. It's kind of like Murphy's Law. You have perfect internet until you're ready to do a live broadcast, right? But if you're still here, I just wanted to say welcome. Thanks for your patience, for standing by. And I do have a pretty special hangout today. This particular hangout, we call it the Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central, is slated for newbies, in other words, new people in the business world. So I'm going to give you steps in order to help you get started with having your own online business. Now, for those of you that already have an online business or not new to the world of online business setup, you may find some value in this as well, because you may find that there are a few steps in setting up your business that you haven't done yet. Maybe you put it on the back burner. And this might be a good refresher for you. And it may just be what the doctor ordered as far as getting you some additional information so that you can be successful. So it's not all lost if you're an expert or have been in business a while. But this particular hangout is for you, somebody who's out there who really wants your own business, but you're just not sure how to get started, and you're looking for somebody to guide you by the hand and give you the steps necessary to be successful in an online world. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. I do have a presentation I put together for you, so I'm going to flip my screen around and I'm going to walk you through that. If you have people that you know that are interested in starting their own online business, I encourage you to share this hangout with them. I do leave these up for an entire week. So every Monday, the old one comes down. So if they don't catch the live hangout today, be sure to share this with others and encourage them to sign up on our registration. You can register in order to get access to these. You'll see two buttons below. One allows you to join, one allows you to register. So I hope that helps you out. All right, if I could just get a text here from somebody that's watching right now, let me know that you can see my screen. You should see a slide that says your step-by-step guide to online business success. All right, I just got a text there. All right, so we are ready to get going here. So today I'm really going to simplify this. For those of you that are brand new, I hope that you get a lot of value and that this gives you the confidence to go forward with being a business owner and how to really get it set up and working so that not only are you a business owner, but you're making money from it too, right? Because that's the goal. You don't just go into business because you want to go into business. You go into business because you actually want to make a living. You want to make a difference. There's a whole host of reasons, but you do need to have some kind of income coming in from that in order to be a success. All right. So we all start with that question, so you want to start a business. Well, what are the keys? Before you even open your doors to the world, what are the keys to starting a business? Well, I want to tell you, the first thing you need to understand, you have two choices when you're starting a business. Here are your choices. You can either choose to start a business the slow way, or you can choose to start a business the fast way. Now, before you get all excited and say, oh, well, of course I want the fast way, I need to explain exactly what the differences are, because you'd be surprised. Most people start a business the slow way. And this is what kind of hinders their success early on. And so I'm going to talk about the difference here next. So let me talk about the fast way first, okay? The fast way is making a commitment. This means getting all in. And all in, if you're not familiar with that term, it means setting yourself up for success. It means getting all of the products that are necessary, getting all of the training things that you need. It's having all the tools set up for whatever business you're planning to offer. It's not piecemealing it step by step. If you're all in, you are fully committed, okay? And if you're setting your business up the fast way, you also are following a successful mentor or coach, okay? So some of you are kind of scratching your head thinking, well, yeah, I'm not doing some of those things. Well, let me explain the slow way too. And we're going to go into a lot of detail today on how to set you up the fast way, okay? The slow way, this is how most people do it. They say, oh, let's just test this out. Okay, that's the thing. That's the mindset that people have when they first go into business for the very first time. Let's just give it a try. Let's kick the tires for a bit. They maybe make the bare minimum investment. So if you're going into a business, they say, okay, let's start with as little investment as possible, just to make sure it works before I invest my hard-earned money into it. Okay, so the slow way has a mindset of you're hoping it works, so then you can invest more. Okay, it's playing it safe, or so you think. It's setting up your business your own way. It's not following a leader's coaching. All right, so this is the slow way to grow a business. A lot of folks are probably thinking, well, wait a minute, I'm doing that. You're kind of stepping on my toes here, Vishon. Well, that's why they call me the tough mama. I'm going to tell you like it is. I don't like sugarcoating stuff. So if you have gone into business, and maybe you're even on my team, and you've just made the bare minimum investment, to me, that says you're not really serious about your business yet. Because if you were serious, instead of saying, I don't have the money, I don't know if this really works yet, what you're telling me is that you aren't thinking like a successful entrepreneur. Because a successful entrepreneur says, how can I do this? And they keep asking that question in every aspect of their life until they figure out a way to do it. And sometimes it means making a really hard choice. If you are serious about your business, you're going to do whatever it takes in order to set it up properly so that you can be successful. So in other words, stop kicking the tires, get in that car and drive it, and realize that you may not know all of the answers yet, but if you are following a successful leader or coach, she or he is not going to lead you in the wrong way. They've been in your shoes. They know it's scary as heck when you take a big risk like that. And they are going to help you along the way and show you some of the pitfalls and how to avoid them and how to make it work so that you can be successful. Okay? All right, so enough of my tough love lecture here. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the presentation now. So let's start with this quote. I really love this quote from Helen Keller. And if you aren't familiar with Helen Keller, she is somebody that's kind of famous because of the things that she overcame in her life. She was born deaf and blind, and she went on to become a very well-known teacher and speaker, actually, because of her incredible teacher. She literally followed the teachings of somebody in order to become successful and overcome all obstacles in her life. So I really admire her as a human being and as a woman. So here's the quote: security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do the children of men as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Okay, so I hope this motivates you, because it's so true. A lot of people say, oh, don't start a business. What are you going to do if it fails? Your family may not have enough food. You may have to, sell your house. They'll tell you all the worst case scenarios. But the truth is, those who play it safe are just as risky as those who take a leap of faith. I'll give you an example. Myself, I was in a very, I thought was a good career. I did it for 16 years in corporate America. I was in the digital publishing industry. I was making what I considered a very nice salary. I thought I was in a safe field, that online publishing, working for the newspaper industry. I thought that would never go away. Well, guess what? I was laid off from that. They were doing some cost-cutting measures. I was one of the higher-paid staff members, and I was cut. So that just proves to you that playing it safe is not it's not going to be a secure method. There is no such thing as security. So you might as well go for broke, live your life. Even if you fail, it doesn't mean that your life is ruined. Okay, you may lose your house. Okay, you may end up homeless. And I know that there's somebody on this call right now or on this hangout who's been there. I won't mention names, but who's been there, and this person has created success in their life. So anything that happens to you is temporary. It's a temporary challenge that can be overcame. And if you look at life that way, think of all of the things you can accomplish, because all of a sudden you are looking at life as a daring adventure, and you are not going to let fear stop you from being the success that you're destined to be. Okay? I hope that inspires you. So here are the steps. I tried to put these in order, but then I started thinking of stuff as I went along. So some of these steps may be a little bit out of order from where you would start. I know the first few are definitely in order, but the rest of them, just kind of play it by ear. And you'll find that this will help you to get your business set up in a professional way. Okay. All right. So number one, the very first thing, and this is definitely in order for this, is you need to know your passions. A lot of folks, they start a business because they want to make money. That's the absolute worst reason to start a business. Okay, don't start it for the money, because it doesn't matter if you make hardly any money or if you make a lot of money. If you aren't doing something that you're passionate about, you're going to be miserable. And I've seen both ends of the spectrum, and I know for a fact that you could be making, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but if you are not happy in what you're doing and you're not passionate about it, then it means nothing, absolutely nothing. So know what you love, and sometimes it just means going introspective and really writing down all the things that you love to do and describing what it would be like to do those things on a regular basis. Could you see yourself getting up every day and doing that? And you may not know how you can make a living from it yet, but by knowing your passions and the things that you enjoy doing, it's going to help you to create a business around that. Okay. And this is something that our team, we help you to do. Like, a lot of times you feel stuck. You know some of the things you like to do, but you just can't figure out how to turn that into a business. Well, this is where we can help you. You can schedule a free coaching call with me personally or one of my team members, and we can walk you through how you can, number one, find your passion if you're struggling with that, and number two, how you can turn that into a business. And literally anything can be turned into a business. And if you don't believe me, schedule a free coaching call with me. Reach out to me. You can just email me, and we can set up a 30-minute free coaching call and walk you through your passions and how you literally can turn that into a business. Okay. So once you know your passions, the next thing, you need to create a name. You need a name for your business. Okay. But don't just pick any name. You really need to kind of create a list of different names that you would like to call your business, and then research it. Make sure it's not trademarked. I provided a link here. This is the United States, what's it called? It's the trademark organization. So you want to go to uspto.gov, and you can actually research there for free and see if the name that you want for your business is already taken. I know it can be kind of depressing if it is taken, but just look at it like, you want to be legal when you start your business. You do not want to create a name, build an entire brand around a name, and then have some attorney send you a note saying you've got to take that down immediately or get sued. So start your business properly. So if you are not living in the U.S. and you're watching this today, check your country's rules on that, or your whatever you have in wherever you live. Just about every nation in the world has some kind of restrictions on certain names that you can use or you can't use for your business. So check that out. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Oh, wait, before I do, I wanted to tell you something kind of cool that I did with my business that at least it helped me in creating a name. I actually built a business on my own personal name. So my overall umbrella name for my business is called Vishon Enterprises. And then I set it up as a limited liability company. So it's Vishon Enterprises, LLC. Now, the reason I did it that way is that then I could have other businesses underneath that LLC. So I call that my umbrella. And I'm just giving you some ideas if you're just starting out. but I call that my umbrella business. And then underneath it, I have what's called DBA. So that's doing business as, because I also own a martial arts studio. I also own an internet marketing business. I also do some web design and coaching. So I have different DBAs underneath that umbrella business that's my name. So I really only had to research my name, make sure that that wasn't copyright or trademark by somebody. And then from there, I was able to do doing business as. I do recommend you research your doing business as names as well, because if you're using them on signage and websites and stuff like that, once again, somebody can come back to you and tell you, hey, that's my name, stop using it. So make sure you do your homework on that. We're going to get into some, some ways or some people that you can reach out to help you with that. All right, let's press on. So the third thing is, once you've ensured that you don't own, or that somebody else doesn't own the name that you've came up with, you want to purchase a domain name. So this is your web address, if you're not familiar with the term domain. So there's a lot of places that sell them. I use fiveminds.net. This is a company I've used, gosh, for 10 years. Their motto is, it gives you a peace of mind. And I really like them. I use them to buy all my domains. And because I've used them for so long, I have a personal relationship with them. And so there's been occasions in which, I've had a domain expire and they've actually held it past the expiration date because they know me and they've even called me. So if you're looking for somebody like that, that's kind of like your down home domain host, and they are worldwide, then you might want to check out fiveminds.net. Otherwise, one of the more popular ones that a lot of folks use is GoDaddy.com. So that's another one that you can use. So check both of those out and purchase your domain. I recommend purchasing, as many of them as you financially are able to, because you're going to have lots of different uses for your domain. So for instance, like for Vishon Enterprises, my master, business, I actually purchased, .com, .org, .net. I purchased all the main ones. That way somebody else doesn't, get that and then turn it into some other business that's like a competitor. Okay. All right, let's go to the next. All right, the fourth one is to fill out a DBA. Now remember, DBA means doing business as. This is primarily for the US. You may check for your country if you live in a different country. But in the US, you really do need to register your business with your state and with the nation too, for tax purposes, and also so other people don't use your name. Okay, so you can do this for free actually, or a very small fee, by going to sba.gov. Now I put the direct link here that goes right to the DBA section. But if you just go to SBA, which stands for Small Business Administration.gov, G-O-V, you can find a link there. But otherwise, if you want to type this in, it's sba.gov/content/register your fictitious or doing business DBA name. And there's hyphens in between all that. So this will help protect you. It makes your business legal because you have that on file, and it'll tell you where you need to file all that so that you are all set up. Okay. The fifth thing to starting your business is you should organize your business team. And this is where you're going to get help. Like some of the stuff I already discussed, you may be like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. So here are the 3 people that I recommend every small business owner has on their team. Now, these people are not employees. These are people that you're going to work with and establish a relationship with, that you can count on and call and meet with on a regular basis as your business grows. You have to go into business with the mindset that you're going to grow. So you need to have somebody you trust as your banker, accountant, and a lawyer. So your banker. Now, a lot of folks today, you bank online. You also bank through the drive-through teller. I want to tell you a little secret that I learned a long time ago from a very wealthy person, and that was, try to go into your bank, into the actual lobby floor on a regular basis when you do your banking. The reason for doing this way is you're going to start building personal relationships with the people that work there. This is really, really important because over time, when your business grows, you may want to get a loan or get a line of credit or things like that. If you don't know the people that you're banking with or they don't know you very well, the odds are they're not probably going to help you. They're going to be a little more protective in lending money to you because they don't know you. But if you've been somebody that for the past year, 5 years, 10 years have been banking there and coming into their lobby and say hi to them and get to know them on a first name basis and ask them for advice when you can, then they're going to be more receptive to helping you. And plus, they may be more receptive too to giving you ideas on how maybe different bank accounts that might be better for you and your business. So I highly recommend this. If you don't have a really good relationship with your bank right now, shop around. I actually just recently did this. I've been banking with a bank here in the Branson area for quite a while. And although they're good, and I know, all the people that are there, I decided, I really should shop around. And if you guys were on last week's Hangout, I talked about setting up your finances at a bank. So recently I shopped around and I found another bank where I really want to set up an account because they have a much better deal for their business accounts. And they also have some other different things that they offer that my current bank doesn't offer. So I'm trying to decide right now if I should leave my personal account at my old bank and then have a separate business bank, stuff like that. But it always is a good idea to shop around, find a good bank. There's no harm in that, and go into the lobby. So an accountant, this is going to be somebody who's going to help you with your taxes. Ideally, if you can find a certified public accountant, it's even better. You're going to pay a little bit more for them, but because they're certified, you're going to have a little more benefit from their experience, as well as being able to direct you from a business standpoint some of the tax write-offs and shelters that you can get for your business. So again, shop around, talk to people if you belong to a local chamber of commerce or something like that, which I also recommend. You're going to get to know people that do accounting and meet with them. There's no harm in meeting with them, and getting to know them first before you do business, because you need to find somebody that you feel like you have a good rapport so that you can build that relationship over time. And then finally, a lawyer or attorney. You need to find one that can help you specifically with your trademarks initially, because you're going to want to register your business and your trademark and brand so that somebody else doesn't take that later on. So be proactive in setting that up. And you also need to talk to them in regards to setting up contracts and agreements. If you're in a business in which you're going to provide a service and you need to have people sign things, you really should get those perused by an attorney. So oftentimes you can find an attorney that it specializes in small business, which is really helpful because they offer, some of them offer a small business package where they help get you set up. So talk to people who have a business already, and ask them who they use, who they recommend. That's a great way to get a good one, is to get referrals. And then just go and meet with them. I know that attorneys can be very pricey for good reason. They know a lot, but they're worth every dollar if you get a good one. And I can tell you that having a good attorney alone has saved my butt many, many times because of things I just wasn't aware of in copyrights and things like that. All right, let's press on. This one was kind of a big topic, but it's so important. Okay, the sixth one. Set up your business bank account. So now you have a banker. You don't want to run your business through your personal account. And we really went into a lot of detail on last week's call. If you missed that, shoot me an email and say, hey, can you send me a link? I'll give you a link to the last week's Hangout. And I walk through how to set up your business bank account and all of your accounts and finance for that matter. But you want to keep it separate. That's the big thing you need to know when you're setting up a business. You do not want to do your business banking through your personal account, your personal checking account. You want that completely separate, and it is, at least in the US, that's part of the law as well. Okay, all right, so let's go to the next one, number 7. This is going to be something that if you've never had a business is kind of a nice perk to having a business, and that is you can actually use a lot of things as tax write-offs. So at the end of the year, depending on how you have your business set up, you can write off your certain business expenses. The benefit of this, obviously, is now you should be able to, at least in your first year of business, depending on how much money you make, you should be able to actually not have to pay very many taxes because you're going to have a lot of business write-offs. All right, so what are business expenses? Well, these are just a few to keep in mind. So any purchases that you make related to your business and setting up your business, you need to keep those receipts. And you can be as fancy as you want. Like there are a lot of online programs where you can shoot a copy or a picture of your receipt and upload it into an online account. That's the fancier way. Or you can just be the manual way, which I actually prefer. I know I'm in an online world, but I actually prefer the manual way just because I feel like I know where everything is that way. And if my computer gets hacked, then I won't lose all my receipts. So what I do is I actually have an accordion file for every year. The beginning of the year, I get a brand new accordion file. It's monthly. It's got every month in it. And then as I make purchases, be it online or business expenses like buying computer equipment, my phone, anything like that, I take those receipts and I put them in each month. I put them in the appropriate section of the accordion file. And then at the end of the year, or quarterly, if you do your taxes quarterly, you take that accordion file to your accountant, okay? When you get that to your accountant, then they can go through that and make sure that you're getting the appropriate tax write-offs, okay? So this is really, really helpful. So here are just some of the things to keep in mind. So in your purchases, mileage, anywhere you're driving, keep a little spiral notebook or something in your car. Write down your start mile and then write down your ending mileage on your car when you get to your appointment. So an example of a business appointment would be if you are going to like a Chamber of Commerce meeting, or maybe you're driving to meet a client, or maybe you're traveling to a learning event for your business. If it's business related, and only business related, then you want to keep track of that mileage because you can use that as a write-off. Your phone, if you have, and I strongly encourage this as well, have a phone that you use just for business. Like a mobile phone would be a good example. So you want to make sure that you're keeping track of those phone bills and you put them in your business account. Internet access, if you're using your internet for your business, then make sure that you are keeping track of it. Now, one thing that you may not know, if you're running a home-based business in the US, if you set up a dedicated space in your home, you can write off a percentage of that space. So for me, I have a dedicated office. It's down in the lower level of my home, and it represents 9% of my total square footage of my house. So you need to know the total square footage, living space of your home or apartment, and then figure out the square footage of the space that you're dedicating as your office. And then any utilities, your internet access, your phone, whatever you've got that is shared with your home, but you use a percentage of that for your business, you can use that as a business write-off. Now, obviously, talk with your accountant. It has to be dedicated. You can't use that space for other things, such as, it can't be your bedroom. It can't be, if somebody were from the tax IRS came in, they would have to know that it's an office. It couldn't be like a space where your kid's room is or something like that. It needs to be dedicated. So just keep that in mind, and you can use that as a write-off. Any equipment that you purchase, a computer, maybe a copier or something like that, fax machines, whatever it is that you need for doing business, make sure you keep the receipts because those are also business expenses. Subscriptions, like if you're on my team, you have online subscriptions for different products and services. Keep track of those receipts because those are also write-offs. When you travel to different events in order to get continued education and make contact for your business, those travel expenses are also write-offs. Meals can be written off as well as long as you're eating with somebody else and you are talking about business. Okay, so at some point, make sure you talk about business, and then you can use that as a partial write-off. So I write on the back of every one of my receipts who I ate with, what we spoke about, and of course, I want to keep track of how much the receipt was for, so that I put that in my accordion folder, and my accountant can quickly say, okay, this was definitely a business-related expense. Software, if you buy any special software for your computer that you're going to use for business, you can write that off. So this is just a very small example of things that you can write off for your business, and it's going to help you when you're starting a business if you start tracking it right at the beginning. Okay? All right, next, have a basic business plan. Now, some of you have, in school, they helped you if you took a business class in school or college. You may have learned how to write a business plan. Others, maybe you never have done this before, and this seems very intimidating. You don't have to have a really fancy business plan. Honestly, there are a lot of businesses out there that are doing very well today, that their business plan was written on a beverage napkin at a bar or a restaurant. So it doesn't have to be fancy, but you do have to have a plan. So there are 6 questions that you need to be able to answer before you even start a business. And this is, this probably should be moved up in the list as to what you need to do, but you obviously still need to build it around your passion. And here are the 6 questions if you want to write these down. All right, so the very first question in your business plan questions are, what need are you addressing? Here's the thing. You don't have a business unless you're solving some sort of a problem, okay? If you're just doing it for fun, then you have a hobby and not a business. So make sure that your business is actually addressing some kind of need or solving some sort of problem. And write that down. It may be a few different needs or problems. Write those down. The second one, what makes you different? What sets you apart from your competitor or others that are in the same business? And just write down as many things that you can think of that makes you unique or different. The third, who is your audience? And I'll give you a hint. It's not everybody, all right? Your audience is going to be a very specific person. So you have to start thinking about, who are you trying to attract? What problem do they have? And what's their age? What's their gender? Are they married? Are they single? Are they, all the different granular type demographic information that you can pinpoint is going to help you when you go on to start marketing your business. So really concentrate on who and what they look like, so that when you're talking to your audience, you're talking to just that person. And in turn, you're going to attract other people just like that. The fourth, how is your business going to make money? This is pretty important, obviously. You want to be able to make income from your business. Otherwise, again, it's not a business, it's a hobby. So you'll need to write down all different ways that you can make money from that passion. Now, here's the good news. If you're stuck here and you don't really know how you can make money from your passion, reach out to me or whoever invited you to this hangout. Reach out to them and say, hey, I would really like a free coaching call. Everybody on my team and including myself, we offer a 30-minute free coaching call to help people like you who are looking to have an online business based around their passions and figure out ways that you can make money from that. Then the fifth one, how will you promote your business? Don't forget this part, okay? Marketing your business is really key. You're not going to drive any type of business if nobody knows about it. Okay, they don't just find you. You've got to let people know that you exist. So make sure that you are thinking of different ways to promote your business, and primarily, where are your audience? Where do they hang out? You want to promote your business in a place where you're going to reach your audience. Okay, sometimes depending on the business you're in, they may not be in certain places, but they'll be in others. And then finally, the sixth question: what do you need to get started? So this really has to do with setting up your business. I mean, what types of equipment do you need? Do you need a computer? Is your computer too old that you need a brand new one? Do you need special software? Do you need a business location if you're planning to have a brick and mortar business along with your online business? What all do you need? So you'll need to understand everything, all the equipment, all the materials, licenses. Depending on the business, you may need to be licensed. So you'll need to understand those things before you open your doors to the world. All right, let's go on to the next one. This is the 9th step to setting up your home-based business, or setting up your business, I should say. Your business does not have to be in a home, okay? Doesn't even have to be in a brick and mortar location, but you do need to have what I call your home base. Your home base is actually where people are going to find you. Now, if they are, if you want a business that you've set up for traveling, for example, then you're going to want to set your business up so that it's portable. This is really important. Some of the people that come into the online business, one of the attractions to it is that you can do it from anywhere. But you have to realize that there are some setups that will need to happen in order for you to be portable. For instance, you need Wi-Fi. You might need a portable internet device if you're going to be traveling a lot, so that you can still get internet, or at least know where you can find free internet access points so that you can do your business. Okay, if you are doing your business in your home, which is what I've chosen to do because I have 2 little boys, and they're in school right now, and are about to start school, I should say, and I wanted to have the ability to work out of my home and have the flexibility to go and pick them up from school, and even participate in some of their field trips and things like that. So to do that, I set up a dedicated home office, and it actually is in my lower level of my home. And keep in mind that your home office can also be a write-off. I don't know if you knew that, but if you have a home-based business, make sure you set it up in a dedicated location, and then know the square footage of that space, because you can use that as a percentage. Like, for instance, my home-based office is in a room in the lower level, and it represents 9% of the total square footage space of my home. So with that in mind, I'm able to use that percentage with my accountant to write off 9% of my home expenses. So in other words, my utilities, my mortgage, my internet access fees and things like that, I'm able to mark those off. My internet is primarily, it's like 99% home or business use, not home use. So I'm able to write all of that off. So, just keep that in mind when you're setting up your home base. And it also, if you're going to have clients, then you may need a special space so that you can meet with clients. All right, and then the part B of this is you also need a website. I have learned and I've heard that you really aren't a business until you have a website, because in this day of age, people need to be able to find you online. Instead of handing out printed brochures, even though we still do that on occasion, most people consider your website your brochure. So make sure you've got that set up. The nice thing about the business I'm in is that we have a blogging software that allows us to actually turn that into our website. So by blogging, it means that I'm actually out there writing and taking videos and things like that and sharing my business with the world. But you also can use your blog to create web pages. I will tell you personally, I have both. I actually built a website. I have a background in website design, but you can always find somebody to build you a nice website if that's not your forte. And then I also have a blog. And so by having both of those, I'm driving traffic to my business, especially with the blog. I think the blog is the most important part of your online presence, because with a blog or video blog or vlog, you are creating content more frequently, and search engines love that. So it gets good search engine juice just by having a blog. Okay. Then the third thing of your home base is your social media presence. You really have to have a page on Facebook. You need to have a page on LinkedIn. You need to have all of your social media sites filled up so that you can attract the most people to your business. Now, there's a right way and a wrong way to set up your social media presence. So make sure that you are with your mentor or coach on how to do that. And if you're on our team, then one of the things we do is we actually show you step by step how to set up your social media presence for the most success. Okay, so that's your home base. We're going to go to part 10. Part 10 is having a success coach or mentor. Now, I just alluded to that in my previous talk, but basically a coach to me is somebody that's living. It's somebody that you can actually physically contact, perhaps even meet with them one-on-one. This is somebody that's already having success in your business and has agreed to help coach you to success as well. Now, a mentor to me, they could be living or dead. Like I have mentors that I follow from, by reading their books. And by reading their books, I've learned a great deal about the industry that I'm in. And that person is no longer living. Like Dr. Napoleon Hill is a good example. He wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. So I feel like you really need both. You need to have mentors, and you also need to have coaches. So find somebody that is going to really inspire you to be the best version of yourself. And remember, your friends, your parents, your teachers, whoever, they may not be your best success coach. And in fact, I would say most of the time they're not going to be your best success coach, because unless they've created the level of success in their lives that you want, then they're not going to be a good coach for you. You need somebody that's going to push you to the level that you want to be at. So with that said, stop listening to people and allowing people that don't have invested interest in your business or your success and letting them coach you, because they don't know. They're not in that industry and they're not successful at it. So that alone should really help you if you're having some trouble with overcoming some mindset things with other people. And anyhow, so we'll move on. I could go deep on this because this to me is so important. And it's the one thing I can tell you right now that has helped me to take my business to the next level was finding a success coach. All right, the 11th one is to set up your daily plan of action. Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. Okay, when you are starting your business, you get all your pieces in place, and then you're like, oh, okay, now the business is going to just work. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. You actually have to work at it. Okay, it requires action. So you should have a daily plan that you use in order to keep you on track and reaching goals within your business. Now, if you don't know what this is or even how to set one up, again, that's where that success coach comes into play. Get with them. And if you're on my team, here's the cool thing. We actually send out a daily email for our business in a box system, in which we walk you through step by step what you should do today in order to move the dial on your business. And we even give you instructions on, if you don't know how to do something on that online list, we give you instructions and video tutorials on how to accomplish that. And so it gets easier and easier as you go because you get better and better at what you do. So if that's something that you're looking for in your life in growing your business, then I encourage you to reach out to me or whoever invited you on this call and ask them to help you and get you set up with a daily plan of action. And you can do that by clicking on the button below where it says Join Team Tough, and that's going to get you set up and ready to go. All right, let's go to number 12. Have a marketing strategy in place. I think a lot of folks forget this part, okay? They get their business set up and nobody comes to their business. They can't get customers. Well, that's because they don't have a regular marketing strategy. Now you can do both a free marketing strategy as well as a paid strategy. I do both. I have free strategies and paid strategies. And we teach you in my system, and it's Business in a Box, on how you can set up both and what you should do. Now, when you're first starting, you need to really make sure you've budgeted for your business on having advertising dollars. So you can start for as little as $2 per day with online advertising. And we teach you how to do that. You can also learn that from a coach on how to do it. But basically, you need to have some money set aside that you're going to use to market your business all the time. Now, you should be marketing even when you're not doing well. This is where people get hung up. They say, oh, I'm going to market only when I'm doing well. I'm going to put money into it when I'm doing well. Or it's the other way around. They say, oh, I'm doing well. I don't need to market anymore. Well, you really should be marketing at all times because businesses ebb and flow. So in other words, You'll have high times in business. You also will have low times. So you have to be marketing even in the low times, even in the high times, so that you constantly are driving traffic and getting leads for your business into your pipeline. Okay? All right, and the last one that I wrote, but I actually have one more that I didn't write down, is this one. Number 13, always be learning and taking action. Most people get the first part, they're always learning, but they forget the second part, taking action. I can't tell you how many times I've coached somebody and they are focused on learning, but when they get to the taking action part, they don't feel like they're ready. They feel like they need to learn everything first before they take action. Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret. The best successful leaders that I know, they took action before they even knew what the heck they were doing. Okay, so make sure that you are learning something and taking action. And here's how I do it. I spend 50% of my time learning and the other 50% taking action. So I typically spend a minimum of 2 hours per day on my business. So I will spend an hour learning something new or learning some techniques or improving on something that I just learned. And then I'll spend the next hour, if I only spent 2 hours, on taking action on that. So I learn it, I take action, okay? And then now I'm at the stage in my business where I'm coaching my own team on how to be successful. So the next step after taking action that I didn't write down here is to teach others. So you learn, you do it, and then you teach others, right? Learn, do, teach. So that's what I've been doing as well. So make sure you're doing both, and that's really going to help you. So I'm going to flip it around here because that was my last slide, but I did have one more thing I wanted to talk about. So let me do that. All right, welcome back. So the last one that I didn't list on my slide presentation is the whole idea of having medical care and also having some kind of a retirement plan. So these are things that you get when you work for somebody else. If you have a full-time job, a lot of employers, most of them actually, they provide health care and they provide some kind of a retirement benefit, be it a 401k if you're in the US, or they might provide some kind of pension, retirement pension. I think that in many cases, we don't want to leave the corporate world because of those benefits, because we feel like, oh man, I'm going to lose healthcare or I'm going to lose retirement if I don't continue working at this job. Well, the truth is you can do all that on your own and you can reap some really incredible benefits just from having your own healthcare and your own retirement plan. So I want to just eliminate that fear. So in regards to the healthcare, I had to get it my own. I did not have, when I started this business, I had recently been divorced, and so I did not have healthcare through my spouse anymore. I never really had healthcare through him anyway. But the point is I needed healthcare, and I had 2 little boys that also needed healthcare, health insurance. So what did I do? Well, I went out and I looked online, and the best resource that I found was this thing called eSurance. So if you want to go out and you can do a look on Google for eSurance, and what it does is it actually compares all different types of insurance, healthcare providers, and then you can compare them side by side, by price, by benefit, et cetera, and then choose the one that's going to be best for you and your family if you're going to be supporting a family with it as well. Now, here's the little secret that you may not know is that don't buy it through your personal account. When you purchase your healthcare, buy it with your business account, okay? So your business then is providing the healthcare. The benefit of that is now you get a tax write-off because it's part of your doing business expense. So it's really, really nice, and you can actually even put your spouse on that as well, etc. Obviously, don't take my word for it. I'm not a tax professional, okay? You need to meet with your tax professional, ask them what to do with that, and they can give you some advice and tips on how to structure that and set it up so that it's legal and so that you get the tax benefit from that, okay? Let's talk about retirement. Everybody wants to have, some kind of a retirement account or benefit when you're done with, when you're done working. So with that said, also set up a financial account or a retirement account through your business. meet again with your accountant or financial advisor and ask them how to set that up. So here's the benefit is that you can then, when you earn income from your business, you can then put that directly into your retirement account or a portion of it before you pay taxes on it. So it's another way to kind of shelter some of that money and that income is by putting it into a retirement account directly from your business. It should not ever touch your personal account when you do it that way. So these are just some tricks that I've learned, and they really have helped my business. Again, meet with your tax professional and your financial advisor, and those big three, your banker, your lawyer, etc., and make sure you've got it structured properly for you. And the Small Business Administration, if you're in the US, can really help as well. So I hope that you found great value with this. It's not as scary as it sounds when you're setting up a new business. These are just some basic tips to get you going. And I can assure you that if you really are interested in starting an online business, it's one of the most rewarding things that I've done. It's given me so much freedom. Here I am in my home office. I'm able to work when I want to work, spend time with those that I want to spend time with, do things that I want to do whenever I want to do it. I never could have done that if I continued to work for somebody else and building their dream instead of my own. So get out there, make your dreams a reality, and remember to take risks, because that's where the true joy in life is all about. So make it a great day. We'll see you next week on our Down and Dirty at 1:30. Take care.